Vic Mignogna is a fairly popular voice actor, especially in the anime world. He is a fairly regular attendee, or I would even say panel host for a lot of conventions. I've been to a couple of conventions that have had him. I've met the guy, and
would I know of anyone who he's played?
Absolutely, Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
and the voice of Broly.
Yeah, we talked about him like a few weeks ago.
Yes, the one and the same.
Oh,
Vic
don't mess with my boy. I'm about to get mad.
Oh, you're not the only one here. So let's get through the official story, as it were. So Rooster Teeth is a. I don't know if you're familiar with Rooster Teeth, but they
make videos. I know they make videos, or used to.
Yeah, they're kind of like
a media
how
kind of
Machinima
platform.
was, and Screw Attack. They're kind of like a conglomeration
a little bit of an MCN
of
kind
creators.
of thing.
Yeah, owned by a larger studio. Yeah. They had a blog post released on, it looks like, let's see, when did this happen? February 5th, it looks like. They had a post that said, effective today, Vic Mignogna is no longer a part of the cast of Ruby, and Rooster Teeth is ending all associations with Mignogna. This will not affect the creative content of Ruby, and Ruby is a web series that is like a cel-shaded anime show produced by Rooster Teeth. Now, of course...
Was he like a main character on that?
See, I don't know. I thought that he was kind of like not a main character, kind of like one of those like almost senior level characters that only like gives advice and shows up when needed, that kind of thing. Like, I don't think he had a huge role, because Ruby, I'll get into later, but just to give some context, it's mostly a show where the cast are people who don't necessarily have professional voice acting training. That wasn't necessarily their career, but they do it well enough, so they have the part. Like, they work for Rooster Teeth, so therefore they do it. And then Vic Mignogna, I'm not sure if there were other big name voice actors, but I remember like that was a big deal when he agreed to be with them. And it's been 4 seasons already. I had no idea. So the reason why they are cutting ties with him is there have been mounting allegations of misconduct when it comes to him being at these conventions. These included things such as uncomfortable, non-consensual touches with fans and photos, along with, quoting here from this Polygon article, prejudiced comments about gay content, namely fan art. Apparently this has been going on for some time. He did let out a response in mid-January, which he tweeted, any allegations of sexual harassment, sexual assault, or most disturbingly, pedophilia are completely and utterly false, because, a lot of these fans going to conventions are underage minors.
Right.
And that's pretty much the end of it. He has canceled major appearances at Seattle's Emerald City Comic-Con and Kansas City's Planet Comic-Con, which were going to take place in March. So he will no longer be going there, just probably due to a lot of heat surrounding this. So I've met Vic Mignogna. The dude is stand up from what I can tell. And when you go to a convention, he doesn't really say this in interviews, in a whole lot of interviews. He's maybe mentioned this a couple times, but if you go to one of his panels, it's very clear that he is a Christian. The one that I went to, he was honestly giving away free CDs with him reciting the Book of John.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and he wanted to make sure.
Dude, did you get one?
I didn't, because like everyone scooped him up. Like there was only a little bit, and honestly, he was doing it as an outreach. He was doing it as like basically a proselytizing tool, aka witnessing to your fans. And he wanted to make it clear. He said that he's like, I've done this, I've produced this completely out of pocket, I did it myself. These are free. I never charge for these. My only request is, if you take one, please listen to it. And that's what he said at the panel.
I bet someone's put it on YouTube. I gotta look that up.
Probably. And he even said, like, don't expect me to get into character. You're not gonna hear Edward Elric say, like, forgive them their trespasses.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That kind of thing. So yeah, he's like, I don't go into any characters. He's like, this is just me narrating the Book of John. So, and I have heard from a couple of other people who follow him a little bit more closely that he had a problem with people giving him fan art of characters in homosexual situations that were not homosexual characters.
If it's Full Metal, there's no
right, and he would honestly refuse to sign those. He wouldn't autograph them.
That's awesome.
So honestly, I feel like him doing that, and then also with him, in a way, sharing his faith at these conventions, people are targeting him.
Because that was going to be my next question. I was going to say, well, what do you think is happening here? Like,
I even saw him, the convention that I went to, and it's been a few years, but the convention that I saw him at, he was trying very much outside of his panel to disguise himself. Like, I saw him walking around the hallways, and he had a hat on. He was trying to keep his face hidden, and he was walking around with his girlfriend. He wasn't taking pictures with fans. He wasn't he wasn't hugging people or anything like that. I mean, he's definitely he's a bit of an eccentric guy. Like, he seems to get emotional pretty easily. Like, I know that he's been interviewed about, he claimed that he would break down crying while voicing Edward Elric, just getting into the role. But he's an actor. Like, that's kind of what you do. I just found this out recently. He's was in a Star Trek series that's kind of a continuation. This is going back to, I think, 2010, 2011, where it was a continuation of the original show, where I think he might have even played Kirk.
This isn't voice acting?
No, this is live action even. So he's got, I think he had a music career, I think at one point also, but I think he's mostly just done voice acting in recent years. And honestly, this is where I kind of have to rip on Rooster Teeth a little bit here. So Rooster Teeth started with something called Red versus Blue, where they basically took the original Halo games and had comedic skits where people would go into the game and play as characters. Because when you did Team Deathmatch, it was Red versus Blue, Spartan soldiers. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I never found it funny. I had a friend that really thought it was hilarious. He tried to get me into it, and I was like, dude, this is not funny. It was very boring. I mean, it's Halo footage. Yeah. With voiceovers. It's not anywhere near say Dragon Ball Z abridged quality. Yeah. It just was there was no energy to it. And Ruby was actually started by a fellow by the name of, I'm going to actually go ahead and look that up here right now, because the dude was actually pretty cool. His name is Monty and on YouTube he also started he had a series called Dead Fantasy that was a crossover between Dead or Alive characters and Final Fantasy characters, and he had them fighting it out, kind of like a Smash Brothers type thing. But it was him taking he made all the 3D models himself. He choreographed it, and it was done really well. And then he started Ruby. And in my opinion, Ruby was never as good as his Dead Fantasy series. Now, unfortunately, At the age of 33, he had a severe allergic reaction that during a medical procedure that unfortunately cost his life. And that was a big deal. I think that that happened in 2015. Very sad, but I do have to say that like Ruby has never
hasn't been the same after that.
No, it's just not a good show. Like honestly, like I tried to watch like the first 3 episodes of season 1, and it feels like fan fiction come to life. Like it feels.
Is it based on some other series?
No, it's all original. It has fairly decent character design as far as some of the characters go.
What about the plot?
It's pretty nonsensical.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically like a bunch of anime fans trying to get together to make an anime series that is not that great.
Yeah, and you said the voice acting is
acting's not good.
Monotone.
It's basically like, oh, you want a high pitched anime girl? I'll be a high pitched anime girl. Woohoo! You know, all that nonsense. Like if you don't like that kind of voice acting, you're not gonna like Ruby.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but like Rooster Teeth has kind of shot themselves in the foot by not waiting for the facts to come out. Because hey, at the same, I love the dude. If he actually did do this stuff, that's lame, and he should be prosecuted for it. But why are we waiting until Dragon Ball Super comes out to bring any of this up?
Interesting.
Like the timing of it is very interesting. And I'm just tired of these kind of allegations and the whole Me Too movement. Just let's hold on to something until this person's in the spotlight, or wait until there's all of this media attention possibly on someone.
Yeah.
Then we'll really nail him to the wall.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like it's because he wouldn't sign your yaoi crap, and you're getting back at him. Also, you don't like the fact that he's a Christian, so he must be anti-gay.
I just hope that this can be disproved somehow, so that by the time his time comes for his next appearance as Broly, he can actually do it.
Yeah, and I've seen some people say that like maybe even Funimation is like rethinking working with him, but they better not. They really better not. Like it's really going to alter my opinion of them if they do the same thing that Rooster Teeth does.
Yeah.
Like
they've been with him a little longer, so hopefully they have a better
yes he has character. And I hope his career is going to be okay. Like this should not. And you know what, honestly, like if he has to stop going to conventions, he's under no obligation to. That's what a lot of people don't understand when voice actors and other people involved in the industry go to these conventions. They don't have to. Yeah. The companies that they work for don't make them go to these conventions. They do
go to this convention.
Yeah, they do it completely of their free will. Sure, they get paid for it. You know, it's their whole weekend.
Yeah.
Going bye-bye. Of course, you're going to pay them for it, but at the same time, like I believe Travis Willingham, who plays the voice of Roy Mustang, he will not go to He will not go to conventions because his leg got broken because he was mobbed by a bunch of fans.
Oh my.
Yes.
Sheesh. People
so
can be nuts.
If Mignogna like gave you a hug that maybe he pulled you in a little bit too close, he didn't. I'm positive he didn't mean anything by it. Now, if he groped you, that's definitely, you should have. But the thing is, you should have reported it then.
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it? Like
if it really bothered you so much so that you're reporting it several years later.
It's so hard for them to come forth with this stuff because they feel like they're just going to be ridiculed.
But it's like you're getting ridiculed now, so what's the difference between now and then? Yeah. Except now it's harder for me to believe you because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And again, like it just seems a little bit too convenient that he's Christian, he's not down with gay art, and he won't sign it for you, so you're mad at him and you want to start something.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it seems
Hopefully
like. Hopefully
we can have some more developments where we can get some kind of something that can maybe disprove this, because that would be nice just to know for sure.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Just sucks all around though.